Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight, we got a good one here. It is race number 2 of season number 7 here with the 802 Winston Cup Series. I tell you what, week number 1 was a great show. Of course, that happened last Sunday night at Atlanta Motor Speedway, where we saw the 81 machine of Josh Parker pick up the win there and pick up his first career win with the 802 iRacing League. Those Dylan Canova with the most laps led. It looks like Dylan, I don't believe here tonight, but here tonight, man, a great... Oh, we got Dylan just rolling in here in the last minute, so we do have Dylan, so we'll see if he can back that on up and lead the most laps here tonight at MIS, or will it be someone new with now the 70 machine rolling on in? I believe we have about 40 drivers ready to do battle here tonight. That is going to be exciting, and I tell you what, with that many cars, man, calamity could be around every corner, especially here at Michigan. Man, this place draft and track, high speeds every single lap. I mean, we see cars here in practice almost 200 miles an hour by the time they have to lift, so it's going to be an exciting one here tonight. Of course, distance-wise here, 200 miles, or I think that's about 100 laps or so when it's all things considered. Going to have at least 2 pit stops for fuel, 3 sets of tires over the wall here tonight, and that will make up here race number 2. Like I said, things starting to shape out a little bit, but a lot to try and figure on out, especially looking at the big picture. Season-long points, I believe, at the moment, so we'll see how things start to shake up. Leaving tonight, we'll get a much clearer picture, but here we go. Like we start every race event here, practice times, that is done and over with. It was actually James Hislop with the quick time in practice, so first time start for him. He was quick here in practice. We'll see if he can do that here in qualifying as qualifying kicks underway here, just like we've seen many of times before. We will take the best of the 2 laps here, and of course, your best of those 2 laps will determine where you start for tonight's race. And I tell you what, a big field here tonight, you are going to want to start towards the front as much as you can, because track position going to matter a lot. One, to keep out of the calamity, but also keep that clean air on the nose of these race cars, because we won't really see, anyone drive away with the draft, but if a pack can start rocking and rolling, we can see groups of cars start to get spread on out. As here we go, the 11 machine of Chris Progar here at the start-finish line. The 11 will go on the clock here tonight at MIS. As we see here in qualifying, bit of overcast here, so this track's going to have a little bit extra grip in it. We'll see who can find that limit without overstepping it and losing that race car here. So qualifying, we're going to see some very, very quick times here tonight at MIS with the cloud coverage, and of course the track cooling on off just a little bit, so we'll find out the driver who's willing to push it the most here, as we see the 11 right there down on the apron, try and make this front stretch as short as possible. Lap number 1 for the 11 machine, a 38.32. Right now that'll put him 8th of about 14 cars, as we get a lot of cars clicking on in here in the timing and scoring. Right now it's Chris Muse with the quick time here with a 38.05. I have a feeling if we see a quick time, it will probably be in the high 37s when it's all said and done. But right now, Muse hanging on to it with that 38.05, as we see Chris Progar here off of turn number 4 for the final time, bring it right down to the apron to the start finish line. Progar will improve lap number 2 at 38.14 for the 11 machine. That'll put him back up to P number 11. The 00 machine here of Nate Brooker. Brooker, of course, didn't take a qualifying time at Atlanta, drove up through the field, was leading the race before had some trouble off of turn number 4, got big impact with the outside wall. That, of course, ended his night, so Brooker looking to rebound here tonight. He will go on the clock here in the 00 machine, and we can see a little bit of different strategy from Brooker, taking the high line here in 1 and 2. Probably also going to be down here in 3 and 4, so going to throw away this first lap to build up the momentum and put all his eggs into one basket. That is going to be lap number 2. 31 drivers so far have taken a time, and still Christopher Muse hanging on to the top spot. So a great lap from the 3 machine. Rob Lowell in second. Connor Patton, good to see him on back here on Sunday nights. He will be third quick. Grant Humphrey in fourth. And then it is Austin Smith here rounding out the top 5. Nate Brooker looks like gonna end things here on lap number 2, so that'll put him only to 33rd as Scott Simley goes quick time with a 38 flat for the 33 machine. So Simley, one of those drivers here last week up there on the podium. Of course, Simley last week finished in that 3rd position, had himself a great run after, I believe, starting mid-pack in 16th, was able to finish in 3rd. Here tonight, could be leading the field to the green flag. That 33 machine could be very, very sporty. As we take a look here, last few drivers trying to take in a lap here. This is now the 87 machine of Matt Croak. Croak here tonight getting rid of the pink on the 87 machine, trading it out with some orange, always some sharp-looking cars here from the 87 camp. As Matt here, lap number 1. Good enough for, it looks like 34th. Lap number 2 here, he will jump up to 30th with a 38.52. Jeff Pogo here will slot into 17th, a 38.24 for a champion here with the 802 iRacing League. As Pogo looks like that will be his only lap here. He will start almost dead middle, mid-pack here, 17th of 35 cars that have taken a lap. And it looks like that will wrap up qualifying here tonight. And it looks like we got to give a big congrats here. That is to our Riptide Radio Pole Award. That is the driver of the 33 machine, Scott Simley, up on the podium last week. Here tonight, going to be leading the field down to the green flag as Scott Simley walks away with, I believe, his 2nd ever Riptide Radio Pole Award. For sure, the first for him of season number 7. So what do we say we head down trackside and get ready to go through tonight's starting lineup here at MIS. Alrighty, folks, here is tonight's starting lineup here for the MotorCity 200 here at Michigan International Speedway. Scott Simley in the 33 machine will lead the field down to the green flag, just outside the 3 machine of Chris Muse. Hey, a lot of 3s here tonight on that front row. Make it 3 of them on that front row. Pretty cool there. We head back to row number 2. That will be the GStone 21 machine of Rob Lowell, and 'tis outside the 37 of Connor Patton. Then to round out the top 5 for the starting order here tonight, that will be the 48 of Grant Humphrey. 2 Humphreys outside rolling off in the 6th position. That is the 17 of Austin Smith. James Hisloff, like I said, was the quick time there in practice. The 92 machine here tonight will roll off in 7th. Chris Progar in the 11 here. Great qualifying effort from him. He will start in 8th. 9th going to the 22 of Mike Kelly and Jamison Heath in the 71. I like that number a lot there. He will round out the top 10. Then the first car from the outside of the top 10 looking on in, that will be the 4 machine of Jim Ott. He will start in 11th, and 12th will be Evan Fuquay in the 76 machine. Rolling off 13th will be the 7 of Tyler Humphrey. Giovanni Espinoza in the 18 machine will start 14th. Johnny Barker in the 6 will start 15th. Barker picking up the win last Thursday night with that Elite 802 series, and he put on a great effort there at Dover. He will start 15th. 16th going to Mike Carroll in the 56. Jeff Pogo in that 97 machine makes his return here tonight. He will roll off 17th to his outside his teammate in the 98. That is Eric Holly. Dylan Canova in the 70 machine will start 19th. 20th going to the 27 of Kip Easley. Todd Perro in the 69 machine will start 21st. 22nd going to Frank Flores. 23rd is Kevin Timpton. Frank Zingen will roll off in the 24th position here tonight. 25th going to Scott Drost. Alan Harrison in 26th. Steve Ritter 27th. Eli Raposa 28th. Josh Hutchinson 29th. Matthew Croak in 30th. Connor Dudek 31st. Reba Caton 32nd. Noah Loveridge 33rd. John Crosby 31st. Nate Brooker 35th. Donnie Leah in 36th. Final few cars, Josh Parker, Steve Holmes, Brandon Guerin, and Isaac Morales as we get ready to rock and roll. iRacing pace car on, off, and up in front. Scott Simley on the loud pedal, and we go green flag racing here at MIS. Simley with the advantage going into turn number 1. Rob Lowell maybe trying to get a little bit of clean air on the nose of the 21 machine, but now here comes Chris Muse making the high side work, trying to keep that momentum rocking and rolling here on lap number 1. And right now still side by side for that race lead. Maybe not, as Simley able to get clear. That is the 37 machine of Connor Patton there taking a peek to the inside into turn number 3. So things getting off to kind of a hectic start. That is, of course, guaranteed at MIS. A lot of people, a lot of runs, a lot of momentum, especially with the draft here tonight. We'll see cars continuing each straightaway, fan on out, trying to find some opening, some gap where a car maybe isn't right in front of them out there on the speedway. Lap number 1, though, clean and green here tonight. Out in front, it is Scott Simley leading the way over Christopher Muse. Rob Lowell in 4th. But he is under fire now from Connor Patton. Patton continued trying to work that bottom side here tonight. Then right behind them, Austin Smith in that 17 machine, as well as the 11 of Chris Proger. That's kind of group number 1 there, trying to create that gap. And like I said, no one car will get on out in front of the field, let's say, but you can definitely get a group of cars to start outpacing other groups. We'll see if that is the case here tonight. Top 6 trying to do that, but looks like it won't be for naught, because here comes Jamison Heath as well as Grant Humphrey. They are tagging on along here pretty quickly, a little bit deeper in the field here. One car working down here on the bottom side, I believe. That is the 18 machine of Giovanni. Up top, that is Evan Fuquay there in that 76 machine as with 18, a little bit of connection issue there down the front straightaway. No harm, no foul, though. He will get back out there on the track, and that is what the 4 machine of Jimot happened to him last time we came to MIS. He had some connection issue there, I believe either Windows update, some sort of restart like that. Ott, of course, looking for a little bit of redemption at his home race. He has driven on up into the top 10 and 9th, but out in front, new race leader, as Christopher Muse quickly got the race lead from Scott Simley. Just as that happened, Rob Lowell will come and pounce, and now the 21 machine of Rob Lowell will take over the race lead here on lap number 5. So things already off to a great start here tonight. 40 cars out here. Looks like 38 here making the call, at least out on track for the time being, but currently being led by the black and red 21 machine, and things kind of calming on down for the time being out in front. Cars starting to kind of single file on out, at least down the straightaways, as man, Rob Lowell is starting to gap the rest of the field. Gonna have himself quite a bit of a gap down this front straightaway, probably about almost 5 car lengths or so, but you can just see the difference in speed by the time they have to lift to the next corner of what the draft can do, as Christopher Muse, like I said, 5+ car lengths back, kind of closed it on down to 3, as right behind them Connor Patton, Jamison Heath here, side-by-side battle now for that third position as Jamison from the top to the bottom. He will take a peek to the left rear quarter panel of the 37 machine, 3 wide here into turn number 3. Patton in the middle there, Heath down low, Muse up top, and right now give the advantage to the 3 car with the momentum. They will single file back out to 71. We'll try and build up the momentum, but we get our first caution of the evening, and that looks like Michael Carroll in the 56 machine will come to a stop here in the grass on the front straightaway. So the first caution coming out here tonight on lap number 7. So let's take a look here, see what happened to him. But luckily for Carroll, doesn't look like any real damage on this 56 machine. So he will definitely looks like able to continue in this one. May have to burn a set of tires a little bit early as we take a look here down the front straightaway. Let's see what happened here. As 3 wide racing here, Jeff Pogo up top, Kip Easley down low. And down the front straightaway, maybe the 56 down a tiny bit, Kip Easley maybe up in the middle. And that's one of those classic 3 wide racing deals. That's a risk you run with running 3 wide, especially through a tri-oval. Even though MIS, long front straightaway, long front tri-oval, it still has a curvature in it. So when you're not exactly on point of where you need to be, things like that can happen here in a hurry, especially with some 3 wide racing like we saw just there. Brandon Guerin able to get out on the speedway, so I believe Brandon Guerin going to be the only car, I think, multiple laps down here. So glad to see the 1 car out here and make it out on track. So I believe he will be the lucky dog here for this one. Everybody, Caton not making, I believe, the call, at least currently still out on track. So the 30 machine out, that still leaves 39 race cars out here on the racetrack. Like I said, 3 sets of tires here for the field. Going to be a little bit too early to take a set of tire, but it looks like we got our first taker for maybe some fuel in the race car. That'll be the 3 machine of Christopher Muse. He will lead kind of a handful of cars down pit road, but it looks like the majority of the field going to elect the track position, going to elect to stay on out on the racing surface here. But cars down, Muse, Simley, I believe the 70 machine of Canova down as well. So quite a good handful of cars, good names down on pit road. It should be interesting to see how this shakes on out here for the strategy call. Also Mike Kelly on down here, rocking a different paint scheme than what we saw last week with that 22 machine. So with this first caution flag here of the evening, top 10 will look like the following. Rob Lowell going to have the choose here at the 1 to go. Can elect to restart on the inside or the outside lane. Only leader can decide that. Then the other car that will be on the front row has to file on where the leader does not choose to start. But yeah, it's going to be Rob Lowell with that choice. Leading the way, Connor Patton in P number 2, Jamison Heath in 3rd, Chris Progar in 4th, and James Hitzlop in 5th, Jim Ott in 6th, Johnny Barker 7th, Alan Harris in 8th, Austin Smith in 9th, and Jeff Pogo here rounds out the top 10. So that incident, of course, happening just outside of the top 10 there for the time being. And here at the start finish line, looks like the 21 machine going to choose this inside lane. So we'll get the field re-racked, restacked, and get ready to get back to green flag racing as first 10 laps going to be in the books. First caution coming here on lap number 7. So with Chris Muse pitting here, it looks like he will restart pretty deep in the field. Looks like he will be restarting about 18th or so when it's all said and done. So those guys that pitted definitely going to have their hands full as 17 cars in front of them. And like I said, a lot of those cars there just splashes and go. No one wants to use up a set of tires this early in this one. If this caution happened, lap 20 or so, that would give a lot more consideration to a lot of the field. But with it happening this early, it's going to be a little bit too early to take that first set of rubber. Alrighty, here we go. Lights are out around the MIS Speedway. iRacing pace car making its way down to pit road as we get ready to turn him on loose here once again. First restart of the evening. A little bit of checkup, a little bit of stack up deeper in the field as everyone able to keep their race cars in the right direction for the time being. But man, a little bit of some confusion there. That's a classic. Everyone amped up to get rocking and rolling. Everyone trying to get ready to get on the loud pedal, and it starts to create a cording. I'm very impressed. No one around, no big issue with that, but Rob Lowell continues to lead the way here over Connor Penn in that second position. Jim Ott himself had a great start there in that Ford machine up into P number 3, so I think maybe a little bit of issue there with the high line on that start, but like I said, everyone just trying to not have an incident and everyone doing just that here as 3 wide racing into turn number 1. Eli Raposa, Josh Parker makes some contact there into turn number 1. Parker here tonight in a 26 machine, so last week's winner, different number on that race car. We got to keep an eye on him here as remember, he did not take a qualifying time, was able to jump up quite a few spots there with that pit stop from a lot of cars. As you see Christopher Muse from that pit stop cycle in the wall a little bit there through 3 and 4. So a lot of cars here trying to get themselves sorted out throughout the field. Most everyone fastest lap of the night for themselves. So that tells me one thing, people are picking up the pace in a hurry. Everyone knows that track position more and more important, especially with the amount of race cars out here. Everyone's trying to push to either keep their spot or get another few spots out there in front of them. Out in front though, Rob Lowell continues to lead the way over Connor Penn. Jim Ott in third, then Jamison Heath, Chris Progar side by side for that 4th position as the 71 machine going to be able to take that on over by the time they get to turn number 1. Now here comes the 92 of Hislop as well. Hislop down there on the bottom side here, Chris Progar up top here, and they're going to have company from Johnny Barker and Alan Harris as well as Barker gets to the outside of the 92 machine down the back straightaway. Hislop had the shorter distance through the corner, but Johnny Barker is going to have the momentum down the front straightaway, and Barker will pick up that spot. So you saw the 92 almost get clear, couldn't quite slam the door shut, and with that, going to lose a spot, maybe another now to Alan Harris as the 99 going to try and get to the right rear quarter panel of the 92 here down the back straightaway. Looks like he won't quite do it as Hislop finally able to get an opening and get back into line for the time being. Head back a little bit deeper right outside of the top 10 here. 2 teammates side by side. That is Eric Holly and Jeff Pogo. Holly down low, Pogo up top. As Jeff Pogo able to get clear, Eric Holly able to get right in front of Eli Raposa there in that 46 machine. One car maybe having a little bit of connection issues out here on the Speedway. Drivers trying to kind of maybe stay around him. That is the 56 machine of Mike Carroll. He was the one involved in the last incident, but it looks like, yeah, he is having big time connection issues was able to make his way up through the field a little bit, but that looks like it might be the end of his night because, with him flashing in and out, I mean, one, it's very distracting, but two, you don't know exactly where he's at. You could hit him, not even realize. As one car goes around here off of turn number 2, that is Johnny Barker. Barker will tag the inside wall here as he will come to a stop. As Johnny Barker will get that car righted on around here. Second caution, and this one already with some contact there between the 6 and the 11. So we will try and back it on up a little bit further than this. But Chris Proger there up top, Johnny Barker down low, and at least with that contact, looks like Barker maybe drifted on up into the 11. It is very tough to tell because with coming in this late in kind of the replay, it's tough to see. But then the aftermath is Johnny Barker here sliding through that infield and will just tag the inside wall. Luckily, not too hard of a hit. Still going to have some damage on the right rear of the 6 machine, but definitely could have been a lot worse. Looking at it one more time, it looked like, at least with the trajectories, I mean, Chris Proger definitely a little low on the speedway, but it looked like Johnny Barker sliding up just a little bit, maybe lost the front end of that race car and just tagged the 11, and Barker on the worst end of that one. Chris Proger with a great save in the 11 machine. Now the question is it time for tires? And it looks like for most of the field, the answer is yes. It is going to be a busy pit road as the top 10 down. First car to stay out, that is that 33 machine of Scott Simley. So a lot of the field here down on pit road. It looks like about 10 or so cars staying out there on the speedway for the time being. And it looks like for most of the field down in pit road this time, it is time for fuel and tires. Left and right sides going out for most of these racers. It's going to be Rob Lowell leading the way off of pit road. Then it is Jim Ott, Donnie Leah, John Crosby, and Alan Harris, I believe, going to be the first 5 off of pit road. And I tell you what, the 37 machine of Connor Patton, a long stop for him. He was on pit road for a total of 51 seconds, whereas, Rob Lowell, Jim Ott, around 45 seconds. So Connor Patton looks like when it all shakes on out, going to restart in about the 24th position with that long stop on pit road. So, of course, Rob Lowell going to be the first car on 4 fresh tires. Looks like he will restart about in that 12th position. But like I said, up front, Scott Simley going to stay on out. Tyler Humphrey, Christopher Muse, Mike Kelly, and Giovanni Espinoza as well. So that'll be the top 5 here for the second restart of the night here. And like we saw just, in the first 10 laps, caution coming out about 7 laps into that one. And 2 cautions here in these first 20 laps as we get ready to turn them back on loose. Scott Simley going to choose the inside lane. I'll put Tyler Humphrey outside of the front row as we will double them on up and get ready to rock and roll. So like I said, it's going to be Simley, Humphrey, row number 1. Row number 2 is Muse and Kelly, Espinoza and Tipton there, row number 3. And like I said, keep an eye on the 4 and the 21. Those are going to be the first 2 cars on 4 fresh tires. So they'll be trying to get to the front as quick as possible before they start to burn off some of that newness on their tires. But here we go. We wait for the iRacing pace car here to make the hard left-hand turn down pit road. And then it is Scott Simley leading them into the restart zone. That 33 machine can't launch until that kind of white striped box here on the front straightaway. There is the start of the rezone. There is the end. Simley going to go right in the middle of it. The 33 machine with a great jump on that one. Tyler Humphrey able to hang on to P number 2, but side by side for third. As they dive down into turn number 1. Muse down low, Mike Kelly up top. Kelly going to try and stay right on the door of that 3 machine. Going to try and make that distance as tight as he can for him to try and build up a nice run on the top side. And Kelly trying to do just that, though. The 7 going to try and give his teammate a little bit of draft there, but Mike Kelly from the top to the bottom here in 3 and 4. Jim Ott quickly slicing and dicing his way up through this field. Ott now in the middle, 3 wide down the front straightaway. We'll see how this works on out for the 4 machine, able to get back up to the top side here for the time being, but Jim Ott has gotten through the field a little bit better than the 21 machine of Rob Lowell. So Jim Ott definitely the best running driver on the fresh tires here for the time being. Ott up into 7th, now going to try and make it P number 6 here through 3 and 4. Almost 3 wide racing here through 3 and 4. Yes, it will be. No, it won't. Jim Ott just able to get clear and cover off the top side from the 18 machine. A great move there by the 4 machine from the bottom to the top, and make sure he can hang on to that spot there. As Jim Ott, I tell you what, making all the right moves here for the time being, making his way up through this field. Three wide racing here as, woo, that was close. Josh Hutchinson rejoining the track there, and some cars having to almost make evasive maneuvers there, but so far so good as he will keep that thing down here on the bottom side. But it'll be 4 wide racing as, woo, once again, very close run in there off of turn number 4. Up towards the front here, Scott Simley, Tyler Humphrey kind of by themselves. A little bit of breathing room for the time being, but here we go. Jim Ott here trying to work over Mike Kelly and Chris Muse here for that 3rd and 4th spot. Still a lot of side-by-side racing here for the time being, especially deeper in this field. I mean, like I said, that draft can help, but it also can be frustrating. It can keep people nice and close to, even when, you know, you might be a little bit faster, they can just use that draft, close back on up each and every straightaway. We see the 99 machine here of Alan Harris trying to work that bottom side, trying to work over Nate Brooker there up in front of him. Oh, contact further on back. The 87 machine there of Matthew Croak will go on around. He will get damaged. It looks like also the 98 machine of Eric Holly involved as well. Oh, tough break for Eric Holly, involved in an incident last week at Atlanta. And it looks like, sadly, Lady Luck not going to be on Holly's side here tonight either, as that car looks pretty heavily damaged. Same with the 87 machine of Matthew Croak. I mean, same story for him, involved in an incident last week. And it looks like going to be the same case here tonight. As let's take a look, see what happened off of turn number 2. And it looks like Eric Holly just wrong place, wrong time. 3 wide racing gone wrong, as maybe the 10 of, who would that be? Scott Drost maybe didn't realize they were 3 wide. And it looks like Matt Croak into the side of Chris Progar. That sends the 87 down, and then Eric Holly having nowhere to go, no time to react. Going to make heavy contact to that inside wall. Matt Croak luckily able to kind of bounce it off the wall there kind of lightly. I think this 87 machine can get repaired on up to a halfway decent state and still be kind of competitive as long as he stays in the draft here. But yeah, that now begs the questions. The driver that stayed on out, I mean, is it too early to take that first set? Would only have about a 6-lap tire advantage, but you already see Jim out there up to 4th. It's going to only be a matter of time, but it looks like they say 6 laps not going to be enough newness for those set of tires. Most of the field going to stay on out. First car down, though, the 95 machine of Kevin Tipton, as well as the 00 of Nate Brooker. Chris Proger also going to be down here on pit road. And then quite a few drivers in the back here, probably maybe to either see about some damage repair or take some fuel and put them on a little bit different strategy than the drivers further up towards the front here. So under the third caution here tonight before lap 30. So luckily for most of the field here in this one, kind of small incidents, nothing too big or anything like that. So that is at least very good to see, as most of the field going to stay on out. I believe still about 37 or so cars on the racing surface still in the race here tonight. So with those under caution flag here for the third time, we'll go over to a quick commercial break and get a word from our partners over at Premier Setup Shops. Don't go anywhere, folks. In about 30 seconds, we'll be right back here for the third restart here at MIS.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Alrighty, folks, the lights are out around Michigan International Speedway once again, so we are going green next time by. Scott Simley again going to choose the inside lane here on the restart. Now Jim Ott all the way restarting in that 4th position. Rob Lowell in about the 8th position. He's the other car on fresh tires. Then we got to go back to about Alan Harris in about that 10th position or so. I think those guys that took the tires early know, and they got to take care of them for a little bit, especially if we get a long green flag run, which could happen at any time here in this league. But here we go. Once again, it's going to be Simley and Humphrey on the front row here, as the iRacing pace car here once again makes its way to pit road. We now wait for the 33 machine to lead us into the restart box. This time going to go a little bit later in the box. Him and Mike Kelly going to get a great start here. Jim Ott going to start to shade towards that bottom side for the time being, as the top 3 single filed on out, though. Right behind them, side by side here through 1 and 2. Now 3, almost 4 wide here through 3 and 4 as well. Jeff Pogo in the middle of that 3 wide. Alan Harris up top. Harris able to get clear there in that 99 machine. So Alan Harris, one car a little bit loose. That is that 18 machine. Heck of a save by Giovanni there. Wow. As maybe some contact I'm hearing over the radio chatter to get the 18 machine out of shape, but like I said, heck of a save there by the 18 machine, as we head back a little bit deeper once again at just outside the top 10. 3 wide racing to 2 wide racing. 3 wide racing gone wrong as Johnny Barker around. This is the first big one of the night. Barker will be involved The 95 machine, big hit late into the inside wall as well. So the fourth caution of the evening coming on out here in this one. Gonna collect quite a few cars. Josh Hutchinson, Evan Fuquay, Connor Dudek, Stephen Holmes maybe with some damage. The 60 machine of Isaac Morales going to have a lot of damage as well late in this one. So, yeah, quite a few cars with a lot of damage. And I believe that started with the 6. And not sure the other car involved. It's that blue and white machine there. That is the Todd ride. A new paint scheme for Todd Perot, but yeah, he will get turned to the outside wall. Then everyone trying to miss Austin Smith going to be in there. That's where Morales will get the damage. Big hit to Parent there, and then everyone else just trying to get on through. It looks like the 71 machine going to get some damage. Connor Patton, and then that's where I said, yeah, the 95 here, Kevin Timpton, going to make some big time impact here to this inside wall. Going to get turned late in this one as, maybe he actually, maybe didn't, as he was actually looking halfway decent. Let's take a look here from the 95 machine to Kevin Timpton here, watching at full speed. Everyone trying to guess the right opening there, and that is the contact there, sending the 95. And yeah, there's the big impact there to the inside wall, right to the tires. And yeah, I want to say about 10 or so cars gonna have some damage here in this one, as most of them down on pit road here with this one. Like I said, the 71 machine, Jameson Heath, Connor Patton, Todd Perot, Johnny Barker, Eli Raposa, a little bit of front end damage there on the 46, Matthew Croak, Connor Dudek. Looks like Nate Brooker, Stephen Holmes, and like I said, Isaac Morales and Kevin Timpton as well. So, like I said, well over 10 cars involved with the first big one here tonight, coming on lap 30 here of 100. So under caution here for the fourth time here tonight, and I say if we get a next one, we might try and chat with a driver here under this caution flag. So be sure to let me know who you're cheering on, who you want to hear from here in this one, as we get ready once again to rock and roll. Scott Simley gonna have the choice once again where he wants to start. It looks like this time the 33 machine gonna choose the outside lane here. So I believe for the first time here tonight, leader going to choose the outside on the start here. Fourth restart coming at you here in just one moment, as the rest of the field going to rock and roll, double on up. Looks like everyone but maybe Kevin Tipton and Isaac Morales going to be able to make it back out on the speedway. So Tipton, Morales, Smith, and it looks like Brandon Guerin all going to be out of this one here. So that puts about 33 cars here still out in the race. 33 cars on the lead lap. And, of course, the 33 machine leading us back to the green flag on lap 33. Wow. So, once again, we've seen this dance here between these two. I think the last now 3, for sure 2 restarts has been the same front row, Simley and Humphrey, and they are showing that the clean air, that's what matters here in this one, as they're able to defend their spots pretty well with that clean air out in front. Though Jim Ott going to restart one row behind him here. Dylan Canova in the mix as well. Like I said, the 70 machine led the most laps last week at Atlanta. He has worked his way up towards the front. He will restart in the 6th position, as here we go. iRacing pace car on, off, It is Scott Simley on the outside here. Going to be the first car to fire on off. Simley with a great jump here. And we head back to green flag racing here as, man, I tell you what, Simley nailing these restarts here tonight so far. Mike Kelly going to be able, oh, it's trouble. Jim Ott goes on around. Big time contact into one as more trouble. Steve Ritter going on around Alan Harris, Johnny Barker, and right from the start, we get our fifth caution and we will slow down the pace once again. But that started up towards the front there with Jim Ott in the 4 machine. So heading into turn number 1 here, not sure if, man, we got to take a look here once again. 3 wide racing, and it looks like Donnie Leah into the left rear quarter panel of Jim Ott. That was on the 4 machine on around, and yeah, once it loads up that left side, almost impossible to save, and just tagging Alan Harris. Jeff Pogo going to get some damage as well. And then with everyone trying to check on up, it looks like Steve Ritter maybe into the back of Frank Zingen. That will send those 2 on around the 20. Going to get a piece as well. As Eli Raposa going to get some more damage. It looks like going to be involved in that one late with, like I said, the 61 machine of Steve Ritter. Let's ride on. Let's see this one from Steve Ritter, see what happened to him kind of mid-pack. Going to watch here at full speed here, right on the back bumper of Frank Zingen. And yeah, just almost zero time to check on up. Luckily, Eli Raposa doing a great job at checking up that 46 machine. Not too much damage for the secondary incident, but Jim Ott probably going to be done for the night here with this one. And probably the 99 machine of Alan Harris. Both of those cars had some big time impacts there in this one. And now with some extensive repairs being done on a lot of cars, 16 cars staying on out, everyone else down on pit road to either maybe take some tires, take some fuel, but probably most of those drivers that pitted gonna take some damage repair. An interesting call here, the 7 machine of Tyler Humphrey. He will bring it down pit road. Same with his teammates of Christopher Muse and Grant Humphrey. So all those cars going to say, you know what, it is time to maybe take some fuel. Going to be some time to take some tires. So under our 5th caution here, right on the 4th kind of caution restart here tonight. So we'll see if we can maybe, I know these boys can do it. We could definitely get some good green flag laps in here for this one, but still in front of the halfway point here in this one. 5 cautions into this one at MIS, and so far a little bit of a race of attrition. Last 2 ones have involved multi-car incidents. The first 3, of course, on the smaller side. Last 2 have been growing in size here. As we get here, the 1 to go signals. Scott Simley going to head to the top side once again. That'll put his teammate Mike Kelly on the inside of the front row, and the rest of the field going to double on up, and we get ready here once again. Try and get some green flag laps in, as it's going to be Simley, Kelly on the front row, then Canova, Leah, row number 2, Hislop, and Lowell going to be in row number 3 here for the 5th restart of the night. And I want to say we're probably down to about 15 or 20 cars that have not been in an incident here tonight. That makes about half of them here, but luckily still 27 cars here on the lead lap. So still quite a few cars ready to do battle here. And I tell you what, Scott Simley with this strategy called pit on lap 8 has not been to pit road since. Is loving to see all these cautions in a row. Can save fuel, save that set of tires, and doesn't have to burn off in the first third of this race done. And The 33, 22, and the 70 still have all three sets of tires over the wall. As here we go, the iRacing pace car here heads down pit road, and now the 33 of Scott Simley gonna get ready for the start, gonna go right in the middle of the box, and once again, the 33 and 22, a great start up towards the front. Those two will get single filed by the time they get into turn number one. Dylan Canova able to slam the door shut on the 18 of Donnie Leah, or the 40 in the timing and scoring here. Right behind them gets close off of turn number 2, but Josh Parker trying to keep the momentum rocking and rolling down there on the bottom side. I believe that kind of 10 neon kind of blue and gray machine, that is Noah Loveridge in the 34 in the time and scoring, or the 10 machine on the race car here. Scott Drost here thinking about making a 3 wide here down the front straightaway in this first pack. From Drost on up, trying to check on out from that secondary pack right behind them, as the 10 machine not going to be able to carry the momentum like the 73 of John Crosby. Crosby, of course, in the 10th position for the time being. Drivers on those new tires trying to make their way up through the field. That is Muse, Humphrey, and the other Humphrey trying to make their way on up. Those guys currently in about 16th, 17th, and 20th, so they do have some work cut out in front of them, but they do have that tire advantage. As here we go, 3 wide into turn number 1. James Hislop trying to make his way up towards the front, same with the 21 machine of Rob Lowell. Hislop, another one of those drivers on the fresher tires than the 33 or the 22, so he is making good hay and good way through this field. Remember, the 92 had some good speed, especially in traffic, as he was the best time in practice. So now Mobile 1 92 looking pretty sporty, and right now up in the podium spot, but now under fire from the 21 of Rob Lowell, and Lowell, power move by him. He will get clear through turns 1 and 2. So Scott Drost here still trying to work over John Crosby as we get a caution here, and it looks like trouble for maybe the 71 machine of Jameson Heath. Yeah, he is slow here heading into turn number 3, so this will bring out our 6th caution of the night. And I think now, if you're the point of Simley, Kelly, Canova that haven't taken a set of tires, I think at this point you might as well take it, and I think it'll probably put you pretty close, maybe on the fuel for going the rest of the distance. As here we go, already contact there down the back straightaway. Looks like maybe him and Nate Brooker with the initial contact. Let's take a look here, as already with some incidents. Oh, maybe the 76 of Fuquay with some incident there, but that is what then sends the 71 a little bit out of control down the back straightaway. Just going to kiss the inside wall. Luckily, able to keep that thing from getting too much damage, and then brings that thing to a safe stop there. And luckily here for the field, 6 caution here in this one. Going to be a single car incident here in this one. So we will get a word here. Let's try and get a word here. It looks like he is down on pit road, but that won't stop me from getting a word with the driver of the 40 or the 18. It is going to be Donnie Leah here. We're going to try and get a quick word with him and see what he's thinking about his first race here with the 802 iRacing League here tonight at Michigan. Hey Donnie, it's Brett the Jet in the booth. Do you got a copy here?
Yeah, hi. How are you?
Pretty good, man. How are you doing? What are you thinking so far this one? Pretty wild out there, it seems like, here tonight on Michigan.
Yeah, I apologize. I guess I got into gym there, and it's my first race with this league, so I'm trying to not make any anything happen here. And that's, I don't know, net code or something. But yeah, I apologize about that to these guys.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely goes a long way. Apology does go a long way here with the league. And yeah, mistakes can happen. And we know here tonight, I mean, this draft, this arrow's so big. And I mean, that's almost kind of be expected here, especially with as tight of racing as we're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, definitely tight. Everybody's kind of on top of each other here, and no one can get away from each other. It's just a matter of track position and strategy or whatnot. So see how it works out. But definitely going to be these guys already. They're working the fuel strategy right now, trying to figure out when to come in so they can make it on just one more stop. So see what happens.
Yeah, we saw you down on pit road here this time. You digging this strategy call here? Can you maybe get it to the end, or is it still one more stop?
Probably one more stop. I just had to come in. I didn't realize I had some damage from earlier, so I had to come in and fix it because it was just too far off the pace that last run.
Telling me to let him by.
Well, that's at least
got that car kind of looking halfway decent here. And Donnie, before we let you go and get ready to get back to Green Flag Racing, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to here on the broadcast?
Oh, just the guys that run this league just got me in here today, and appreciate anyone that does that broadcast like you guys do. So appreciate you guys doing that, and it's good. Just happy to be here. Just hopefully I can cause I won't cause any more issues here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no worries. Shake it on off, put it in the past, put it in that rearview mirror, and go out there and keep getting it. So, Donnie, great to have you out here tonight. Good luck here with the rest of this one.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All righty, folks. That was Donnie Leah there in the 40, getting ready to rock and roll, and it looks like going to be delayed start here in this one. So, not going to go Green Flag Racing here next time by, as, we get ready to turn them on loose here in about a lap. In about a 10th here, as this time by we should be ready to rock and roll. I think having a little bit, trying to make sure everyone's in the right spots, able to get ready to rock
and roll here in this one.
I tell you what, Alan Harris, if you're out there, we got you for the next interview. I see in the YouTube chat lands here saying we can talk. So next caution, we'll try and grab a word with the 99 machine, as he's had another driver kind of with an eventful race so far here in this one. But once again, it's going to be Scott Simley going to stay on out, not going to come down here during the sixth caution. So he will once again lead the way back to Green Flag Racing. To his outside will be the 21 machine of Rob Lowell, row number 2, James Hislop and Mike Kelly. Then Chris Proger and Noah Loveridge. Loveridge at the moment going to be the biggest mover here in the race so far. In the 10 on the car, like I said, the 34 in the time and scoring as we get ready to rock and roll just before the halfway point here in this one. A little bit more cloud cover here on the racetrack as the sun continues to set, so that's only going to help the speeds here, help the grip wise as we get ready to rock and roll. iRacing pace car down on pit road, and it's going to be Scott Simley once again, first car in and out of the restart zone. He will get a great jump once again as we head back to Green Flag Racing side by side for second. On back as Rob Lowell kind of held up that top lane just a little bit. That allows Hislop to get up to second. Here comes Chris Proger now on that inside lane in the 11. He will get clear. Now Rob Lowell going to try the crossover move. Quite a few cars there bouncing on around. Further on back, everyone able to keep their race cars, though, facing in the right direction for the time being. We see cars, of course, fan on out once again from the bottom all the way to the top. 3, maybe 4 wide racing, as up towards the front, 3 wide here for the race lead, heading into turn number 1. Rob Lowell down low, James Hislop in the middle. They will make contact. Simley will have to kind of move up just a little bit. That will kill the momentum of the 33 machine. Hislop still stuck in the middle, down the back straightaway. Here comes some momentum down there on the bottom side. Mike Kelly, Giovanni as well. As, man, you can see there just lifting a little bit how much time that will cost you, and especially with these cars right on top of one another, it can be a lot in a short amount of time. As that 92 finally able to get things back rocking and rolling. Now it's going to be the 18 here stuck in the middle. Now the 22 of Mike Kelly as well. Kelly has a short opening here to get back up to the top side, but will quite do it, as he will slide in right behind his teammate of Scott Simley. And remember now the drivers with the oldest tires, that is Mike Kelly and Scott Simley. Last down on lap 8. At least everyone else in the field has been down on pit road sometime before that. But out in front it is Rob Lowe leading the way over Noah Loveridge, who has the advantage here over James Hislop. Hislop, best lap for him, best lap of anyone out here tonight. So the 92 machine picking up the speed. One car sideways down the back straightaway. I believe that is the 8 machine of Frank Flores, and it looks like the 61 machine of Steve Ritter as well. So those two going to be involved here right before the halfway point. And let's take a look here, see what happened to bring out our 7th caution here right before the halfway point. We take a look here at the 8 machine of Frank Flores. Flores going to try and move on around Evan Fuqua, and didn't probably realize that Steve Ritter was down low to his inside, and then Ritter, just kind of an innocent bystander in there, going to get dragged all the way to the inside wall, going to make heavy contact. Same with the 8 machine, and yeah, like I said, heavy contact for the 61 machine of Steve Ritter, and that's a tough night, just getting tougher there for the 61. And yeah, let's try and get a word here with the driver of the 99 machine. That is going to be the High Rock Vodka of Alan Harris here in this one. Alan, what's up, my man? You got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett, how you doing? Yeah, I got a copy.
Alrighty, good to hear. I tell you what, we're doing pretty good, but man, it's looking hectic out there, and I think that could be the story for the night for the 99 as well. Tell us about this race, just only halfway through now.
Yeah, man, I did a bad job qualifying. Put myself in a hole early. Qualified 26th. Somehow found a hole in the middle, jumped up to 15th on the first couple laps, and found myself in 8th place at one point.
I was going to say, quite a bit there. This 99 was looking pretty sporty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, of course, getting tagged there by Jim Ott. How damaged is the car? How's it feeling after that contact?
Actually, it feels really good, man. I got all my damage fixed. I had about 1 minute and 40 seconds of damage, and went ahead and took the penalty to get the lap down, and I already got my lap back because all these cautions we've had. But she's feeling pretty good right now. Hopefully I decided to go ahead and pit, get some fuel. Looks like I'm just going to be short maybe for the finish, but see what happens.
Yeah, I tell you what, a great rebound for you tonight then, getting that damage repaired, getting that car going, because I tell you what, when it comes to Michigan, I think as long as you can stay in the draft, I mean, you have a chance to win this thing, right?
Yeah, for sure, man. We were making our way to the front, and we'll see what happens with this fuel mileage. Maybe I can try to save some fuel in this draft and see what happens.
Yeah, and how do you feel about these like 1.5 mile, 2 mile racetracks? Are you a fan of these? Are these your bread and butter, or do you like some other style racing when it comes to iRacing?
No, I like the mile and a half, man. I just seem like the kind of guy that likes to save my tires and try to be there at the end. So just having a lot of fun out here. Just wish we could get a long run going, see what we can do.
Yeah, I tell you what, especially I was going to say, with you enjoying saving some tire, managing that pace, I'm sure you're jonesing for a long run here to finish this thing on out.
Yes, exactly, man. I hope it happens. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, I hope so as well. So appreciate the time, Alan. Before we let you go, quick, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to on the broadcast here?
I just want to thank Rob and all the guys, Brandon, all of them, putting this league together, and all the admins for everything they do in here. And I'm in the Tuesday league, so just want to tell them how much I appreciate what they do for us.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. And Alan, we appreciate you being part of the show here tonight. So good luck here in the second half of this one, my man.
Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was the driver of the 99 machine, Alan Harris. Got that damage repaired. He's looking to try and get back up to the front here of this one. Looks like on this restart, he will restart about the 18th position, but up in front, new race leaders up towards the front. Chris Proger going to take over the race lead. He will be the car in control of the restart. Looks like Scott Simley and Mike Kelly finally down to pit road here. And like we heard from Harris there, driver's going to be very close to make it on fuel. This is going to be exciting to watch as here we go. iRacing pace car makes the left-hand turn here down pit road. And now it's the Motion.com 11 machine going to be in control here. And we'll determine when to fire on off as he will go right in the middle of the box, get himself a great start. And we head back to green flag racing top 3. Looks like top maybe even 5 going to be single filed on out by the time to get into turn number 1. Donnie Leah able to get around Frank Zingen, of course, having a little bit of front end damage. You can see the damage on the nose of that 62 machine. That splitter lifted on up, so that car definitely not going to be handling, definitely not going to be turning as well as it once was. But he is, I tell you what, keeping some pretty good pace with that damage on that race car. Rob Lowell, one of the first cars through the field here, last pitted under that most recent caution. He is now trying to work over that 62 machine for that 7th position. As, it looks like trouble here for the 34 or the 10 on the car. Noah Loveridge with a lot of damage on the right front of that race car. So if we get some time here, things calm on down, we'll go back, try and look at that incident, but no caution for that. We stay under green here as we take a look at Josh Parker, Stephen Holmes here side by side, as Steve Holmes trying to work over that 62 as well as Parker will go on by on the bottom side right there. So Chris Proger up in front leading the way. Best lap for him all night long. New personal best from the 11 out in front in that clean air and making it work very well for him. Giovanni Espinoza had that great save there. He sits in second. Then it is Connor Patton trying to hold off Jameson Heath. Heath, though, will make it to the outside. This 71 involved in multiple incidents here tonight. Looks like has gotten that car mostly repaired. I tell you what, that 71 still has some speed inside of that race car. So top 5, top 10, let's almost make it going to be single filed on out for the time being. Right behind them, pretty good battle here with quite a few cars. Matthew Croak, Nate Brooker, and Scott Drost all working between one another. That is 14th, 15th, and 16th here. Drost being stuck on that bottom side, going to lose the spot also to Eli Raposa there in the 46 machine. Raposa almost in the wall there off of turn number 4, but the field's starting to get spread on out, single filed on out. This could be the long run that a lot of us, including Alan Harris, were looking for. As here we go, battle for the race lead. Giovanni Espinoza able to get to the outside of Chris Proger. Here we go. Giovanni to the race lead down the back straightaway. He will get clear heading into turn number 3. So new race leader, first ever start for the AT machine. He will pick up at least one lap lead and a bonus point here tonight And don't forget, folks, if you're your favorite driver, first race here tonight, there is 2 drop weeks in this season. So even if your favorite driver, missing last week, this week, they still have a chance for a championship. If they come from week 3 onwards, though, they have to be on their marks because some other drivers like Rob Lowe's, Johnny Barker's will have the 2 drop weeks throughout the season. Chris Proger here up on the top side, starting to lose some of that track position there in the 11 machine. Now the 73 machine of John Crosby trying to work on by here down the front straightaway. Right in front of them, Rob Lowe, Connor Patton, also side by side. Low down low, Patton up top in that kind of 5th or so lane. He will actually lose some ground now to Donnie Leah, as Leah will get clear for 4th. So Connor Patton probably up a little bit too high there through 1 and 2. A little bit too much ground to cover to kind of keep that track position. But remember, he is another driver on some older tires, so he is trying to just hang on to whatever he can. Has now about 40 laps left in this one here tonight, with the field starting to get wound on up. What do we say? We had to do a little turn 3, turn it up here, and let some cars do the talking here at MIS. I tell you what, folks, who doesn't love some good old speed shots here at MIS? Cars absolutely flying around this racetrack, and a few drivers trying to fly on up through the field. Scott Simley and Mike Kelly, they currently make up this second pack here, as the field has kind of split into 2 separate packs. Stephen Holmes from 10th onward here in kind of this first galgo of race cars. Then, of course, it's Simley, Kelly, and Zing, and then the first 3 in that secondary pack just outside of the top 10. Battle for second here as Rob Lowell will get clear of Jamison Heath, so put Rob Lowell here up to P number 2, trying to run down Giovanni with the race lead. And I tell you what, Giovanni doing a great job out in front. He's on the 2nd oldest tires of anyone out on track, and he is in that clean air making it work for that 18 machine, as he is out in front leading the way here. Johnny Barker, we've seen him have an up and down night here tonight, involved in multiple incidents. He is making his way through the field, got that 6 car repaired, and that thing's looking pretty good from the eye test, at least up in the broadcast booth. And Johnny Barker able to get around Frank Zingen right there for that 6th position. John Crosby here trying to put some pressure on Connor Patton. Crosby, of course, another solid run, had himself a pretty good night in week number 1, was able to finish in the 7th position. He is currently running in 8th, but you can see that 73 machine having a little bit of right front damage on that race car. probably affecting the handling a little bit, but he's doing a heck of a job keeping that race car underneath him and keeping speed in that race car to try and keep with this front pack, as they are currently starting to straggle out further down this running order from about James Hislop now, starting to get some gaps more and more through this field as we approach now 2/3 of the way through this race here. Donnie Leah here starting to put a lot of pressure here on the back bumper of that 71 machine. That is because they got Josh Parker now entering in the mix. Parker, of course, trying to go 2 in a row. He won last Sunday night. Here tonight, Parker in P number 5, looking for more, as he will fall back in line behind Donnie Leah for the time being. But here through 1 and 2, we'll take that car all the way to the bottom, all the way to that yellow lane, and he will get clear Leah off of turn number 2. So Josh Parker continues to march his way up through the front of this field, now up to P number 4. And I've been surprised, Scott Simley, Mike Kelly, now that they have been marred in traffic, not ripping a ton of pace, but that could just only mean one thing. That could mean these guys close on fuel. We heard from many people that, it could be close. So maybe these guys taking it easy, trying to save some fuel. Let's ride on board here with Mike Kelly, see if he's using some clutch or see if he's just managing this pace and managing what's left in the fuel tank to the end of this one. So one thing telling me he might be saving some fuel. We don't hear any shifting out of the 22 machine. Also taking a peek there at his lap times. You can see about a second or so off from his best lap time. So that also could be an indicator of, hey, we're saving a little bit of fuel. Want to make sure we are good to the end. Battle for third position. Heating on up here as Josh Parker taking a peek to the inside of Jamison Heath for that third position. Parker now once again down low in that 26. Heath up top in that purple 71 machine, and leader's gonna start to catch a little bit of lap traffic as Rob Lowell now to the back bumper of our race leader. Will lap traffic come into a factor here for this battle for the race lead? Rob Lowell will keep his foot in it, gonna be able to get to the outside of Giovanni here, as though Rob Lowell will get a piece of the wall. Have to kind of probably feather that throttle just a little bit. Couldn't quite keep the momentum that he was building there through 3 and 4. So once again, going to get a good run here down into turn number 1. Going to try and clear here off of turn number 2 though. Espinoza going to keep his foot in it. Going to keep the momentum and going to keep the race lead for the time being. So 23 cars here still on the lead lap. It looks like about 26 cars still out here on the racing surface. Frank Zingen down in pit road for extended pit stop. So Zingen probably out of the race. So like I said, that leaves about 25 cars here as we start to get close to the countdown clock here tonight. That of course comes out here in about 2 laps as Rob Lowell now with the preferred lane up in lane number 2. Giovanni gonna have to make a big move here into turn number 3 to get back to the point here though. Through 3 and 4 these leaders will come. This will now close on up Jamison Heath as well as Josh Parker, as Giovanni once again a great exit off of turn number 4 and does get back to the point here tonight. Yeah, with these leaders here trading blows between one another, that has closed up Parker and Heath tremendously, as well as bringing in Donnie Leah and James Hislop as well. Rob Law will get to the race lead. Giovanni into the wall there off of turn number 4. That will slow down his pace a little bit. Luckily for him, Jamison Heath going to give him a big shot, keep his momentum back up, but that moves now Josh Parker to P number 2. So Parker, like I said, looking to go 2 in a row here on Sunday nights, up to second, now challenging Rob Law for the race lead here late in this one. Drivers out of the race here tonight, that is Frank Zingen in 26, Scott Drost 27, Steve Ritter in 28th, Connor Dudek 29th, Kevin Tipton in 30th, Dylan Canova 31st, Kip Easley 32nd, Jim Ott 33rd, Jeff Pogo 34th, Isaac Morales 35th, Austin Smith 36th, Brandon Guerin 37th, Eric Holly 38th, and Michael Carroll in 39th. All those drivers out of this race here before the checkered flag. Oh, Austin Heath going to get a good piece of the wall there off of turn number 2. That can open up the door now to Donnie Leah down there on the bottom side. Leah will now try and get clear here off of turn number 4. Going to have the shorter distance through the corner. 71 will try and get back up that momentum, though. Not going to have it in that race car. Hislop into the left rear there. Almost trouble off of turn number 4. And here we go, folks. We go to the countdown clock here. 25 to go that time at the stripe. Frank Flores off of pit road, so able to get some damage repaired there on the 8 machine. He is now back to about 25th position here for the time being. Best battle here is this battle inside of the top 5 out here on the Speedway. Rob Lowell, Josh Parker, Giovanni Espinoza, Donnie Leah, Jamison Heath, all currently in this top 5. James Hislop, the first car outside in 6. He is still in touch. Same with the 73 machine of John Crosby. Then Connor Patton trying to hang on to a little bit of the draft. Same with Steve Holmes. Holmes having himself a great night. He is up 29 positions in P number 9. So that 90 machine looking sporty, and so far so good here in this one. Let's ride on board here with Rob Lowell, looking on back here to the rest of the field. Let's see what he is doing to try and give a little bit of dirty air, maybe aero block as well, though. You heard Rob Lowell have to get out of the gas just a little bit. Josh Parker with a move to the inside, though, going to slide back up inside that draft before the 18 can fill that hole up top. Rob Lowell, you can hear, drives it in there deep, gets that car to kind of rotate right at the apex, maybe a little bit of a downshift. And then you see Josh Parker, that shorter distance, able to make up time through the corner, though down the straightaway, not able to make it up until about halfway down once he can get into that draft here in this one. So riding on board with our race leader, Rob Lowell, out in front of the field. And if you take a look at the lap times, now similar to what we saw from Mike Kelly as well as Scott Simley. So those guys could be starting to catch these leaders here slowly, as here we go side by side for the race lead as Josh Parker down low. And now here comes Jamison Heath as well back in the mix up top. So Rob Lowell having to make a lot of decisions with this race lead, where he wants to go, who he wants to block. But here at the start finish line, it's going to be Josh Parker picking up the lap lead, as Parker nose out in front of the 21 machine, 3 wide into turn number 1 for the race lead here. Parker down low, Lowell in the middle. Jamison Heath trying to rock and roll, carry that momentum up top in that 71 machine. Parker not able to get clear, now going to pay the piper of the momentum machine and able to get back up to the top side, but he will lose, 2 spots because of that. So that's kind of the risk versus reward you have to take for jumping down low. It's once you get a run, you are going to have to try and clear, because if you don't, like I said right there, you're going to have to pay the price at some point here, though. Josh Parker going to go back down to the bottom side here in turns 1 and 2. Lap traffic here going to be in effect once again here for our race leaders. Trouble for a driver here off of turn number 4. That is the 00 machine of Nate Brooker. Brooker going to be, looks like, in a decent spot, as I don't see too much damage on that race car. He is just off the pace for the time being. But out in front, leaders able to dispose of the lap car, so they will be able to safely get on by there for the time being. And now inside of 20 laps to go, and we haven't seen a caution, in about 30 laps or so. Hopefully, I'll go knock on some wood, not to jinx anything, but a very good, very long green flag run here developing towards the end of this one. And drivers that didn't pit at lap 50 gonna be not good when it comes to fuel. That is gonna be Jamison Heath, Giovanni Espinoza, Donnie Leah, John Crosby, Stephen Holmes, all probably not going to be good on fuel. It's going to be close for Rob Lowell and Josh Parker, both pitted on lap 50, but like I said, going to be close on fuel, as Rob Lowell going to lose the race lead to Jamison Heath here. And I think this might be a move for maybe that 21 machine, maybe save a little bit of fuel here late in this one to make sure he can make it to the end. Heath going to get a piece of the wall there off of turn number 4. Going to yank it off of the wall right in front of Rob Lowe. Somehow carry some decent momentum there, but wow, that was a close call. It's right in front of the nose there of the 21 machine. How about this? Giovanni Espinoza back out to the point. The 18 back leading this race with under 20 to go. Josh Parker, once again, a man on a mission now to the inside of Jamison Heath. Heath going to keep that 26 car pinned down low. Here comes Donnie Leah as well. Leah able to get around the 21 machine. And these guys got to be careful. They start battling a little bit too much between one another. That can allow Giovanni to get out by himself for a little bit and be able to really kind of save his pace, save what he can in that race car. So there we go. Josh Parker will get clear there off of turn number 2. Now Jamison Heath going to get the draft down the back straightaway, close right up to the back bumper of the 26. Going to take a peek to the inside, try and get some clean air on the nose of that 71 machine. Donnie Leah a little bit into the wall there off of turn number 4, but this time by we now see 15 to go here at the stripe. A little bit deeper in the field here, Grant Humphrey and Nate Brooker here battling for position. There's a battle now for about the 17th position right in front of them. Christopher Muse, Tyler Humphrey able to get around Matthew Croak. Croak a little bit slow down the front straightaway in the 87. And here we go, first taker for green flag pit stops up towards the front. Giovanni Espinoza, like I said, last down on pit road on lap 31 or so. Finally has to come on down because he was not going to make it. The 18 machine will make his final pit stop, but at a costly price here under green flag condition. Now hang on over, I should say hand on over the race lead to Josh Parker. Parker now will take over the point here with Donnie Leah, Jamison Heath here right behind them as well. Rob Lowell has kind of lost touch to the race leaders, but I think, like I said, the 21 going into fuel saving mode as here we go. Heath now down on pit road this time. So cars dropping like flies here to hit pit road. They are trying to stretch it out as far as they can before they have to come on in. Like I said, cars last down on pit road on 15. I should say lap 50. Josh Parker, our current race leader. Then James Hipslop in 3rd. Rob Lowe going to be the next runner in 6th. Then Scott Simley, Mike Kelly. These two are on a mission. They are tracking down our front runners. Last time by, they were about 2/10 quicker. Though you can see the gap, though, about 4 seconds back. they are going to run out of time if those leaders do not run out of fuel. Out in front, Donnie Leah here leading the way over the rest of the field. So the 40 or the 18 on the race car here takes over the point. We talked with him first ever start, leading some laps here in this one. He was hoping just for a good race, keep it clean so far in the second half, doing just that in this one. As this time by, we will now click on over to about 11 laps to go. Grant Humphrey got to be in big time fuel saving mode here in this 48 machine, as Matthew Croak now trying to get on back by that car here off of turn number 4. Nate Brooker also in this mix, so about a 3-car battle here for 14th, 15th, and 16th. Though this time at the start finish line for our race leader Leah, we see now 2 open hands from the flag man. It is 10 laps left here in race number 2 of season number 7 for the 802 Winston Cup Series. Josh Parker within striking distance. He could be the best car on fuel. He sits in P number 2, though, has James Hislop in right behind him. Parker looking to go 2 in a row. Leah, Hislop, Holmes, Crosby, all looking for their first career win as well up in front. Single digits laps to go here in this one. Giovanni Espinoza trying to get his lap back the hard way. He is right behind the race leaders here in this one, sitting 1 lap down after that pit stop. The 18 machine now going to go to the outside here. This could cause a little bit as we catch lap traffic as well of Loveridge. Going to catch him here down the back straightaway. So Rob Lowell big time into fuel saving mode. Scott Simley able to get on around. So Simley now up to P number 5 here. So we got to keep an eye on that 33 machine. Now Simley within 3 seconds of our race leader. So that 33 machine is on a mission. Does he have enough time? Do these leaders have enough fuel now with less than 8 laps to go? Like I said, Donnie Leah is going to be one driver that is going to be very, very close to going short. Same with the 73 machine of John Crosby. Though here we go, this could be the battle for the race win as James Hislop to the inside of Josh Parker. Parker will hang on tough on that outside lane now with 7 to go here at the stripe. Most of the rest of the field spread on out here in this one. Like I said, about 18 or so cars still on the lead lap with cars pitting that maybe couldn't make it on fuel, and a lot of shakeups here in this one. As here we go, we hear the call from John Crosby's spotter. 73 machine gonna bring it in this time. Heartbreak for that team here to have to pit this late in this one. Also, race leader Donnie Leah down on pit road as well. So those drivers that pitted at 42 could make it to about 6 to go, sadly. With that, this now hands over the battle for the race lead here. Looking like the following: Josh Parker, James Hislop within striking distance of one another. Then we got to go about 2.5 seconds back to Scott Simley. Simley going to try and turn it up here late in this one. He is hoping those leaders don't have enough to make it to the end. Mike Kelly able to get around Rob Lowe. Kelly in 4th. Rob Lowe now into 5th. Alan Harris, how about this? We talked to him right before this long green flag run. He was hoping that it would be exactly this. Have a little bit of tire conservation, a little bit of strategy. Harris up into 6th. Eli Raposa in 7th. Tyler Humphrey 8th. Christopher Muse 9th. And how about this? Johnny Barker. He is somehow in the top 10 with 5 laps to go. So here we go. The battle is shaping up. Josh Parker looking to go 2 in a row after his first ever win last Sunday night with the 802 iRacing League. James Hislop's going for the perfect 1-for-1 first ever start in this league. He's got to track down Josh Parker about 2 car lengths back, and then it goes to Scott Simley. Simley definitely good on fuel in case these leaders run on out. It's a classic MIS race fuel mileage to the end of this one, with now it's going to be 3 to go here at the start finish line. Grant Humphrey able to get around Matthew Croak, now trying to set up Johnny Barker as well. So Grant Humphrey looking to snag a top 10 finish before the end of this one, as it looks like, yeah, Johnny Barker gonna maybe fall into the clutches here of that 48 machine late in this one. Grant Humphrey gonna dive it down to this middle lane. Johnny Barker up top here through 1 and 2. It's going to be a drag race here down the back straightaway with about 2.5 laps left for these drivers. Up towards the front, though, popsicle sticks up in the air for Josh Parker. 2 laps to go as Grant Humphrey going to try and throttle on up, slide in front of Johnny Barker. He will do just that. So Grant Humphrey able to snag P number 10 here late in this one. Big time blocks down the back straightaway as Josh Parker throws it on the 92 of Hislop. Hislop's going to have one more charge at it, and that will come here at the white flag lap. Who wants it more out of these two, as the white flag is out, 1 to go here at Michigan for race number 2. Josh Parker with the preferred lane here, though. Hislop gonna have the momentum. He's gonna have the draft. What can he do down the backstretch for the final time? This would be the time to make the move, as Hislop, I think, just a little bit too far back. That 3 car length not gonna cut it. He's gonna have to do something here through 3 and 4 then. Josh Parker here down here on the bottom side, gonna wrap it on around and off of turn number 2 for season number 7. Josh Parker will go 2 in a row, winning at Atlanta and here tonight at Michigan. James Hislop will bring it home second. Scott Simley, for the 2nd week in a row, will bring it home on the podium in 3rd. Mike Kelly 4th, and Alan Harris will round out the top 5 here in this one. And I tell you what, folks, don't go anywhere in this one, because a quick celebration from Josh Parker on the front straightaway. And then, of course, we have our post-race show where we'll be chatting with our top 3 finishers and hearing what they have to say here tonight from Michigan. I tell you what, a hectic race to start this one out in front, but it was Josh Parker who has now run out of fuel. Parker cut it that close where he is going to have to be pushed by the 33 machine of Simley to the front straightaway. As I tell you what, that is awesome to see here. Josh Parker just able to stretch that fuel, running out here in the cool down lap. And yeah, that will do it here in this one. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back after a quick commercial break for our post-race show.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here live for the post-race show, and the first driver we'll be talking to here tonight is the driver down in victory lane for the second weekend in a row. It is the 26 or the 81 of Josh Parker. Josh, do you have a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
What's going on? How are you?
Man, we are doing pretty good. I don't think we're doing as good as you. How you feeling after 100 laps here tonight at Michigan, Josh?
Yeah, that was a fun race. I don't like fuel strategies normally because I suck at it, but I ended up laying out my favorite today.
Yeah, that it did. Running out halfway through the cool down lap, man, you had to have cut it close. You had to be worried, especially with the pressure right there on your back bumper as well.
Honestly, thank God my buddy Chad was spotting for me. It helped to tell where everyone was, who was on my strategy, because at the end everyone was all over the place. So it helped a ton. I ended up running out coming to the line, but yeah, that was like I said, normally I suck at saving fuel, but it ended up working out.
Yeah, that it did, and man, what a killer start for you this season. You picked up your first ever 802 career win last week. Here tonight, you now make it 2 in a row, leading the points. I mean, it's looking like, man, you might be the car to beat here in season number 7. How are you feeling with this great start here in the first 2 weeks?
Honestly, I need momentum because I've been terrible in Sim 500 Monday night. So definitely good to get back-to-back wins. It's been a while since I won coming up to last week, and then get back-to-back. God, it's been a long time to get back-to-back. But yeah, definitely good to have momentum.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't realize, even when it comes to iRacing, right? You can carry momentum from different leagues and just help that confidence, because, you go out there, win, especially with caliber of these guys, Sim 500, it always helps, right?
Yeah, a lot of these guys are the same guys that run over there, so it's a good group. Everyone's about the same skill set, so we're not gonna blow everyone's doors off, but we can hold our own.
Yeah, that you can in these first 2 races doing just that. I mean, man, a great race at Atlanta. Here tonight at Michigan, you cut your way through the field once again. I mean, I thought track position was going to be the key, but man, once again, you made that bottom side work here where not a lot of people could do it. What was kind of the key without giving too much away, right?
Well, it felt like the top was really good to start the race, and then it started coming in on the bottom, and honestly, I think the line was hidden by everyone saving fuel, so this could have been a fun race, but like, the last 50 laps was just fuel saving, so it could have been really fun if we had like a 20 lap shootout, but like I said, the bottom started coming in. The top was definitely faster at the beginning, but I was shocked how much it turned.
Yeah, that it was. You're able to make that car rotate, kind of like not many other cars that we saw here tonight. And Josh, now with 2 wins under your belt here, how do you feel about a 3-peat? Kansas next Sunday night. How do you feel about that place?
I mean, I feel like that place can run really well, kind of like Michigan, depending on the yellow. So Kansas could almost be like Daytona, depending on track position. Like I said, just like tonight was. So it'll be a crapshoot.
Yeah, that it will be. And yeah, I tell you what, if there's one car that can get through the field you've shown it the first 2 weeks, that is you. And Josh, I always like to get a little insight from drivers, see what their kind of sim setup's like, because it always seems like no 2 drivers have the same. So Josh, what do you got these days for wheel pedals? What are you looking at? All that good stuff.
I used the Fanatec V3 pedals, and then Fanatec, an old school CSL Elite bass. And that's it. Nothing fancy.
Hey, I tell you what, those V3s, I have a set underneath my feet. I tell you what, I don't know if I ever want to upgrade from those things. They're just so awesome for what they are, right?
I mean, with the price of sim racing equipment now, I hope I don't have to upgrade. But, yeah, I'm not like anyone else. I'm like a tap breaker, like old school NL3 styled, where I just barely touch the brake. So I don't really see the difference between low cell, and non-low cell. I ran G27 pedals for years, but these are obviously very durable and worth it.
Yeah, that they are. And I find, with the kind of being load cell, you can be just a little bit more consistent under the braking, and that makes a big difference for a long run, right?
Yeah, now it's honestly yeah, I guess it really depends on what car you're driving, but yep.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, here with these next gen, with these big old brakes, you're not using them too often, especially big tracks like tonight, right?
That's exactly where I was getting at. Yeah, I'm shocked how much you're not using brake anymore, and then obviously more brake, more tire heat, more tire heat, more tire wear. Slow you are. It's a sim racing,
Oh, yeah.
101, but
Yeah, for sure, man. And like you said and alluded to right there, that's the name of the game, it seems like, especially with this current tire model, is keep heat out of those tires at all costs, right?
that's it. That's the goal.
Alrighty, well, awesome stuff, Josh. Once again, congrats on your second win of the season, now going 2 in a row. Before we let you go, man, and go celebrate this win with your team down in Victory Lane, we got to hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout out on the broadcast here for now 2 wins in a row here.
Yeah, you for doing the broadcast, obviously, and Rob Lowell, everyone that's Brandon, just everyone that runs this league. They got some gig going over here. It's a free race on Sunday, and it's like no entry fee. It's a good league, good group of guys. So I appreciate them. Chad for spotting, Mike, Kelly, Scott for allowing me to run with them on Sunday. So, and then Donnie, Leah for being Donnie. But, yeah.
Awesome stuff. And Josh, we of course got to thank you for being part of the race in action. And once again, man, congrats on the second win of the season here. And you have yourself a great rest of the week. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you here again in the near future.
All right, thanks.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our runner-up finisher. Now we'll go head down and chat with our second place finisher, that being the 92 machine here of James Hislop. James, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
I gotcha.
Alrighty, man. Well, first and foremost, how you feeling after 100 laps here tonight at MIS?
Pretty good. It was nice. Nice, good racing. Everybody was pretty clean for the most part, and it's just great being first race and all here.
Yeah, I was going to say first ever race here up on the podium. That's not too shabby, my man.
It was kind of unexpected, but I'll take it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I knew this 92 machine had some speed. We'll go back all the way early in this event here tonight. Quickest in practice. So I was like, man, I think we got to keep the eye on the 92 machine when it comes to being in traffic. Qualified, I believe you qualified 7th, so inside the top 10. What'd you need maybe a little bit more in qualifying? And yeah, it seemed like you had some pretty good speed, especially like I said in practice. And then of course that translated into the race here.
I'm never good on like 1 lap speed. I always strive to be like the quickest on the long run. So yeah, that's kind of how it went.
Yeah, and that it did able to work your way up through the field. But man, how about these strategy calls here tonight? And you somehow nailed it. How much fuel did you have there at the end as well?
I ran out right as we crossed the line there.
Wow, so right on the edge, and it sounds like you and Josh Parker there, right running on fumes there. And when did you kind of realize that it was full-time fuel saving mode? Because it seemed like Simley and Kelly there at the start of the run kind of saved, where you guys try to stay in the front pack.
I was just trying to stay behind everybody in that front pack. I figured I'd be able to save enough doing that, and luckily I was able to do that.
Yeah, that you were able to bring it home in P number 2. And James, when it comes to these kind of mile and a half next gen, is this kind of your go-to racing these days? Do you prefer this car? And if you do prefer this car, what kind of tracks are your kind of go-tos when it comes to it?
I do really like the next gen out of all the NASCAR ones. I really like short track racing though. I like Martinsville. It's probably my best track out there.
Yeah, I tell you what, I love me some short track. Even the cars on iRacing, you find the right group, just like anything, right? You find the right group with the right people, and I think a lot of combinations can be a ton of fun, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And I kind of like to get a little insight, a little bit of background. First ever race with us, so we appreciate you taking your time, be a part of the show here. But what either got you into racing or what got you into sim racing, James?
Well, I had a buddy that started doing the whole iRacing thing about 2-3 years ago or whatever, and he was trying to get me on doing it. And I've only been doing it for like a year and a half now, but it's been great. It's been a good time.
Yeah, I tell you what, year and a half, and I tell you what, I've seen some pretty good speed here. So, you keep on working on things and whatnot, and I tell you what, you already seems like a pretty good force to be reckoned with. Everyone else better watch out, right?
I hope so. I just hope I can be quick everywhere we go.
Yeah, of course, next week we head to Kansas. First question, you going to be there? Second, how do you feel about that place if you are?
Yeah, I'll be there. Like most of the tracks, I have really good long run pace in Kansas, so hope for some green flag running.
Yeah, I tell you what, that place always puts on some great racing, multi-groove, kind of like we saw here tonight. And yeah, with that, how tough was it to try and get around someone? Because we saw many of times, man, that arrow, that draft came into a big factor when it came to making moves and completing moves especially, right?
Yeah, it seemed like if you didn't get passes done in the first, 10 laps or so of the run, it was real hard if you didn't have anybody with you.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it here up in the booth as well. But yeah, James, once again, man, congrats on a great finish here tonight. I always like to get a little bit extra insight too from drivers, and that is, of course, with their sim setup. So, James, what do you got these days? Wheels, pedals, what are you looking at? All that good stuff here for the 92.
I have a Logitech G Pro wheel and V3 Fanatec pedals.
Nice. Sounds like a pretty good combination. What do you think of that wheel?
It was actually a hand-me-down from my buddy that's been doing iRacing. He went to the Sim Magic, but I like it. I don't plan on getting a new one anytime soon.
Okay, well, yeah, I tell you what, you're making that setup work very well. And another driver with the V3s, I tell you what, if I hear anything, that's usually the most common answer, especially when it comes to pedals. And I mean, I dig it as well. That's what I got underneath my feet when I decide to turn left every now and then.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yep, I don't plan on getting anything new pedal-wise for a long time.
Yeah, always tried and true there. And James, what a great run here. First ever start, able to walk away with a runner-up finish. So, James, before we let you go, my man, and celebrate the P number 2, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you'd like to give a shout-out on the broadcast here tonight.
Well, just all you guys, broadcasters, and the people who put on this league, and my wife for letting me do this.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, James, thank you for being part of the show. We look forward to seeing you back out on track Sunday night. And you, my man, have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you Sunday.
You too. See you next week.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our second place finisher, James Hislop, in the 92. Now we'll head down to our third place finisher, that being the 33 machine of Scott Simley. Scott, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Got you there, Brett.
Alrighty, man. 2 races in the books, both up on the podium here tonight. How you feeling after 100 laps here at Michigan?
Yeah, I'd rather have been higher on the board. Rather have won that one, but I don't know. I don't know what I could have done different. I really didn't know that Josh could make it. I knew it was going to be close, but I probably just that last restart where it was 50 to go or 47, 48 to go or whatever it was, I was probably a couple laps short, and I thought, well, I got to save a little bit. And those guys kind of took off and were probably drafting with each other. And then I kind of was basically solo, and that didn't help my fuel mileage. So plus then they were probably pulling on me a little bit when I was saving. So that's probably where the mistake lied. But I mean, 2/3, I guess I'll take that. But it would have been fun to at least race Josh up there for the win.
Yeah, I tell you what, because this 33 machine had a lot of speed, and we'll start at the beginning of the night. Quick time here tonight from the 33. That was a heck of a lap by you.
Yeah, like I said, it's probably one of my favorite tracks. I probably originally started on it, and I really liked it. So kind of got a knack for it. Yeah, we had a good time tonight, which was good. And then, but knowing the fuel situation, I was kind of surprised. I mean, I didn't know I'd get the pole, did get it. And, early on in the race, we still had to probably save if you wanted to, do the one stop. And so we kind of were hemming and hawing about what we were going to do. And finally we're like, well, we got to pit and just top off and know that we can make it halfway. And then, the other key tonight was that it's hard to pass. Cars are pretty even. And, so track position was big. So, and the tire wear really kind of just was pretty even. It didn't fall off hard, and the car really didn't get really loose or really tight. It was pretty, averaged out. So, had it hindsight, the only thing I could have done different there was probably just that last restart, just staying up front with those guys, and then, doing what Josh, he ran out. I enough to do a half a lap maybe. So, I didn't have much left over anyway. So, hats off to Josh that's his second in a row. So he's on a tear.
Yeah, that he is, but you're hot on his heels now with 2 third-place finishes, so a great start for the season. I mean, for this 33 machine as well. Like you said, you're hoping to be up there for the win, but, I mean, for what's going to be season-long points, what a way to start as well for you.
Yeah, it is. It's a great start. It can't be that down considering, but still, when you feel you're that close, it's tough to take that too, to know that you could have been there. But I made a choice, and it's like, what stuck with it, and that wasn't the one to go with. But still, a good night. It was fun. It was fun racing. I'm glad we got a good long run in there after the midway point. So it was still a good night.
Yeah, that it was, and I tell you what, it was kind of cool. A lot of threes up there on the front row. Of course, you and then Christopher Muse. That was 3 threes on the front row to start the race, and yeah, able to bring home P number 3. So Scott, you got a lot of threes going on around you. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for you.
Yeah, I don't know if it is or not, but yeah, maybe it is. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Next week we head to Kansas, and that was, I believe, a strategy race for you last season that didn't quite work on out, right? With the fuel mileage, how you feel going back to that place next Sunday night?
Yeah, I like Kansas. Kansas is a fun track, pretty smooth. We'll see what we can do there. We'll just keep plugging away and see if we can. I mean, if we can get podium finishes, obviously we're going to be there and hopefully have a chance, to win this thing in the end. But long season, so we'll take it week by week.
Yeah, that we definitely will here. And here tonight, Scott, able to walk away with a P number 3 finish. So before we let you go, man, I think you kind of already know the deal here in this one. We're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you like to give a shout out to on the broadcast here.
Yeah, Brett, thanks to you. You do a great job. It's fun to listen and watch the broadcasts again, and all the sponsors, BG and Stone and GStone, and the rest of them. Riptide, I think, an admin box, and Rob too. I mean, it takes everybody to put this in together. So just thank all them and Mobile One and Mike, bouncing off stuff with teammates tonight. And Josh was in the channel. And it's good to see Donnie, too. I haven't raced with Donnie in a while, so it was fun to have Donnie back.
Yeah, that it was definitely a full field of your team there, and that's always cool to see. And, it just helps make the race even better, right? Get that extra camaraderie. Always a great time.
Oh, for sure.
Alrighty, Scott. Well, once again, we appreciate you here being part of the show. Once again, congrats on another podium finish here. Second one in a row here to start season number 7. So you, my man, have yourself a great week, and we'll catch you next Sunday night.
Sounds good, Brett. We'll see you.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our third place finisher, the 33 machine of Scott Simley. So let's run on through here to the end of this one. Let's run through tonight's race results and get things wrapped on up for race number 2 of season number 7 for the 802 Winston Cup Series. As we can see here up on the board, quite a bit of shake up there late in this race with fuel, with people running out and all that good stuff. So Josh Parker picks up his second career win, now goes 2 in a row. James Hislop will finish in second, first ever podium for him, and Scott Simley 2 in a row for thirds for the 33 machine. Mike Kelly will bring it home in fourth, and Alan Harris in the 99 machine will round out the top 5. Rob Blow will bring it home 6th, 7th going to Tyler Humphrey, Christopher Muse in 8th, Grant Humphrey in 9th, and Matthew Croak will round out the top 10. Eli Raposa in 11th, 12th going to Nate Brooker, Johnny Brocker in 13th, Jamison Heath in 14th, Steve Holmes in 15th. Donnie Leo will bring it home 16th, 17th, going to Giovanni Espinoza. Connor Patton will finish in the 18th position. Then behind him in 19th was John Crosby, Chris Progar in 20th. Frank Flores will bring home 21st, 22nd is Evan Fuquay. Todd Perot will finish 23rd. Noah Loveridge will be in 24th. Josh Hutchinson 25th, Steve Ritter 26th, Scott Drost in 27th. Frank Zingen will bring it home 28th. 29th is Kevin Timpton, and rounding out the top 30 will be Connor Dudek. Dylan Canova will bring home 31st, 32nd, Kip Easley. Jeff Pogo in 33rd, Jim Ott 31st, Austin Smith 35th, Isaac Morales 36th, Eric Holly in 37th, Brandon Guerin 38th, Michael Carroll in 39th, and Reba Caton rounds out the full 40 car field here tonight. So that will do it here tonight from Michigan. First, we got to thank all you guys tuning on in here live, as well as anyone tuning on in here after for the post-race show. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. And yeah, we look forward to the rest of the season as we have a lot of great things coming on up. Remember, next Sunday night, Kansas, another racy track. That's going to be an exciting race here. We also got to thank, of course, all the league admins as well as drivers for the time they put into this one and all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes. We got to thank all of them as well as the league sponsors. That's being BG Graphix, Riptide Radio, GStone Motorsports, Admin Box, as well as Stone, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. So yeah, that'll do it here tonight from MIS. Everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week. Turn 3 Race Network, also partnered with Premier Setup Shops. You can find out more with the link in the description. I'll take you over to their website. Even if you don't want to buy anything, a click would go a long way and be greatly appreciated. So yeah, like I said, everyone take care, have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you next Sunday night at Kansas for race number 3 of season number 7 for the 802 iRacing Winston Cup Series. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.